Alright everyone, Johnny Depp has indeed fallen on hard times. Rather sad to watch his downward spiral. First he starts going broke and has like woman problems. Now he's invoking John Wilkes Booth, and I think that's the central takeaway of his comments at the Glastonbury Arts Festival. Isn't made vague threats against Trump, because I mean others have done that too. They consider it a joke, and there'll be people who say, oh, you snowflakes worrying about this, free speech, or anything else under the sun. That's not the point. He invoked John fucking Wilkes Booth. Do you think that's a good career move? Of all people to invoke, yeah, okay, we get it. You don't like Trump. You think he's Hitler, you think he's a fascist, you think he's dumb, or you think he's in bed with the Russians. We get that. 90% of Hollywood believes that. 90% of people in the media think that. Okay, we understand that. Do you not? I'm gonna have to assume that Johnny Depp had a few beers in him at the time. He looked like he was a little bit inebriated. I suppose that's in his favor because he can just come out in his eventual apology for saying this shit. He can say, oh yeah, I had a few too many drinks, I don't like Trump, but I didn't, I was trying to talk about somebody else, not John Wilkes Booth. He'll probably disclaim that part. But you did, and that's a problem. Invoking John Wilkes Booth, is this a good thing for an actor in today's Hollywood? Probably not. Was he just teasing a role? Like, is he going to do a Civil War anthology now to get back on track with his midlife crisis, and he's going to appear as like, here's the 4-part miniseries with Johnny Depp as John Wilkes Booth. Part 1, Conspiring. Part 2, The Night of the Killing. Part 3, Justice Served. Part 4, Black Lives Matter. Something like that. Is that what he's going to do? Is this just a teaser for some upcoming movie or series or something like that? That's the only way that this would possibly make sense as far as his career goes. And right now, because it's in the shitter, you'd think he wouldn't want to do anything to destroy it. This is a little bit different from the Kathy Griffin stuff. This isn't like violent imagery or anything like that. And, you can ask these rhetorical questions. It is free speech for him to say what he said. It is not considered a credible threat under our legal system. But it would be considered a drunkard's idea of a good career move, which is to say anything but a good career move. And he's going to have some problems, I think, from this. It's not so much because the Hollywood elites and sort of the corporate media and people who just generally hate Trump for one reason or another, whether it's partisanship, whether it's ideological, they don't really care if an actor comes and makes a vague threat. In fact, they give him a round of applause. They think it's funny. But then they realize who he was actually invoking with his statement. I think they're going to back off their applause. Yeah, I think he's fucked. At least short term. I think his career just fucked itself. Going to be kind of hard for groups on the left that would normally defend somebody making such comments to defend them when it's pointed out, who he was talking about, the dude who shot Lincoln in the back of the head. It's going to be kind of difficult for them to make that argument without pissing off, millions of their black readership maybe, or something like that. Pointing out, of course, Lincoln was a Republican, but then the Democrats say, oh, but the party switched under Nixon, so he was really a Democrat. Okay. So he's invoking a pro-slavery states writer / sort of Confederate militiaman who shot a Democratic president who had just freed the slaves. This is a good career move for Johnny Depp. It's going to be funny to see what happens to his, what will his career be? Will he be like cleaning toilets now or something like that? Now, the funny thing is, Depp doesn't really have any problems. He's just gotten used to this life of luxury thing that like MC Hammer and all these others, they have the same problem. They make a hit. Michael Jackson, a great example, makes a hit album, like greatest album ever with Thriller as far as sales. Makes a couple more, just through the roof as far as the money that's coming. And he says, oh, well, I can buy anything that I want forever because I can just, in my next album, I get another $50 million or something like that. Johnny Depp's like, well, I'll get like $10 million for my next movie. I don't care if I have a $5 million a year lifestyle. I can crank these movies out. I'm set for life. Nobody fucking cares. I can drink the $10,000 wine. I can buy the Rolls Royce and the Rolex, and I can have the the 17-bedroom mansion. I can have 2 or 3 of these. I'll buy an island. I'll buy my own city or something like that. And then they realize, oh shit, my income is dropping because I'm approaching that special age at which I am now out of style. And so he goes off the deep end and has his I think this is probably part of it, though. He's going through that level of psychological strain, and he's saying, whoops, I get some issues right now. I better rejuvenate my career by saying I hate Trump. Okay, that's a good career move in today's Hollywood. Yeah, coming out in a Trump mask and rambling and raving and smearing your shit on yourself would probably be, at this point, considered a form of high art. But not when you invoke John Wilkes Booth. That degrades the message that you wish to convey. Was immediately destroyed and inverted because you happen to bring up this specific individual. So I wonder if he'll get much defense. Probably the only solid that can be done for him by like Salon or being liberal is they just won't talk about the issue. It's not newsworthy, so we're not going to cover it. Now that's because if you were to actually cover it, you'd have to admit that was fucking stupid. It was dumb on one hand, he must have been drunk on the other. And it's evidence that of a failing career from somebody who once was one of the most powerful names in acting. That's the problem here. That's why you won't talk about it too much. That's about all. Peace out.